Ahmad, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Antoine.
Ahmad, you've worked at some great companies. I mean, your last position, you were in like a top corporate position in a very well-known consultancy firm. And then 7 years ago, you decided to start your own company. How did you know that this was the right time? And did you plan ahead? Can you just explain to us how you took the steps to start your business?
Okay. Great question. Usually people in high positions uh, think, time is always works against you because we are all growing, old. So when you are young, you are able to take more risk. And when your financial obligations, especially when your kids and families they are starting up, it is easy for you, to think and consider taking more risk to start your own business. It's not easy at all. It's not easy. It's like you're having your new born in the family. So this decision is a make or break. So when you think about having a company and having your own business, you need to give it a lot of thinking. Um, Unfortunately, a lot of people in the world, I would say in our region, okay, they don't plan. If they like an idea, they think their idea is so great, and everybody and this idea will be so successful, they will jump and they will throw the money and they will put heart and soul, but then they discover that this is not the right game or the right cup of tea for them. And I was I assumed several key roles, like you said, but every role I take, I see um, you know, I, I don't see myself, you know, uh, adding value as much as that value or that gain should come to me, not, to others. So I feel, I have, first of all, I'm a tech person, very hands-on experience. And at the same time, I'm a strategist. So uh, I know how to put things together. I'm patient. So I spot an opportunity and I worked on it hard. Now, when I worked on it hard, it's you need all the variables around you to believe that you are an asset for what you are doing. So I started in 2014. I established the company, but I didn't announce it. I let it go run for 3 years in the back end. I was on job and the company was, running. I had good managed services with Etisalat to deliver uh, CPEs globally. I have probably 120 remote contractors that I can reach globally to install Cisco gears, UPSs, and technology. So basically, we receive the CPEs from Etisalat end, we package it, and we ship it globally. And our team, through the network, through the vendor networks, they install it. We were very successful. Then in 2017, I saw, I can't just let this business, 2014 to 2017, go by its own. I need to be full-time because I need to nurture it properly. At that time, okay, it was a very difficult decision for me, to leave, a key positions, well paid, so many attractions, to jump in my own business. توفيق من الله, تعرف, and you need to believe in yourself and you need to believe in what you are doing. And when I did it, okay, it took me a lot. It wasn't an easy game for me. You know, I fall and stand again, fall and stand again. Then all of a sudden I found myself, oh, this is 10 years I'm in this business. I'm doing great. I have lots of, credibility. I have customer base. My Google business profile is scoring 5 out of 5. I don't have 4.7, 4.9. Um, uh, our website hits around 1,800 impression a day, around 400 clicks. Um, you're talking about 2.7 million views, a year. So that gives you, uh, the confidence of push more, go for more, then never stop. You got my points. So I believe, Yani, this is where everything started.
Ahmed, I'm gonna take a step back. Was this your specialty? Because you're into hardware, and typically a lot of people that I talk to are talking about AI and data in terms of software, which is a lot easier to deal with than actual hardware, which is not something people want to discuss, which is critical. So was it a specialty of yours, or did you learn it, or did you spot the opportunity and decide to go for it?
Look, let's be honest. This is all starts from you looking at the industry and try to understand what's going on. Hundred of billions are being spent on software development, um, but so little on infrastructure. So you have a niche. This backbone cannot be ignored. You cannot ignore the backbone.
But there's a reason for that. It's capital intensive.
Yes, but that capital intensive, you don't have to, sorry, uh, the capital intensive, it is so close to the heart of the owners because, sorry, your style of operation, sorry, if I have a saying always, if your operation really matters, then you can't afford to have any technology because reliability is important for you. And it is also affect your service delivery in the industry. So the focus should be on how you can make the infrastructure technology more reliable. So this is where we come. When we don't offer just bringing the UPS or the precision coatings and put them together, then we integrate the data center infrastructure. No, we don't. Our prime delivery is uptime reliability. That is the digital factor, call it missing. You understand what I'm saying? So that uptime reliability, thousands of contractors, they miss on it. They literally miss on it. So when you have that mindset and you are able to deliver, for example, proactive service, predictive service, remote monitoring, DCIM, smart monitoring, these solutions is not easy because what you're doing is keeping the uptime clicks of your customer operation, you know?
I'm going to ask you a question about the field since you're mentioning some technical terms. When you talk about uptime reliability, is it because in the industry, a lot of time these hardwares fail and then so they don't survive 24/7 and you're not able to forecast the failure? Is that where you come in? You're able to tell them it's not going to fail?
Yeah, yes. See, there is a mindset here. So if I buy from Honeywell or if I buy from Schneider, the technology will work. Customer installed, top brands. He waits for 1 year for the warranty to expire. Then he go completely reactive. Why? Because he trusts the technology. Now, I call this I always attribute this to illiteracy. Why? Because customer is not well educated. So our role here is not to push technology, to people and try to force them to buy X or Y. No, we are trying to make sure, to bring sense to what the customer is missing. Let me just give an example. I maintain UPS and other contractor also maintain UPSs. So there is a difference when you have a parallel setup. Suddenly you see customer increase the load and his infrastructure become totally imbalanced, exceed from 100 to 106. That 6% can easily bring his entire operation down during any power interruption. Customer doesn't know. He's adding up, stacks into the racks and he's happy. His operation is working. He's got 3 hours backup time, cooling perfect, infrastructure is perfect. But you know what? There is a 6% power slip. Now, how do you know that this power slip is there? It comes with experience. So when we stand in front of this technology, we don't just blow it, clean it. No, it doesn't work. You have to interact with heart. You have to check all the parameters, variables. You need to look at the anomalies. Is this functioning? So this is where our value comes, to play. And we always like to leave the customer with very good and honestly, very good and positive mindset. I don't push, to sell my box. I sell technology. I sell knowledge. If the customer is educated, then he will definitely, certainly, he will take the right, decision. He will become less burden on you.
Let me ask you this. What kind of clients are looking for advanced data center solutions? Like, break it down for us, what it is and what kind of industry requires this type of hardware.
Okay. Now, let us look at the trend. Okay, what's going on in the market? Cloud is really disturbing almost, I would say, 70 to 80% of the industries. 10, 15 years back, everybody was concerned about data. They do not want to go to the cloud. But right now, the cloud is mature. Technology is reliable. If you are not in the cloud, you are not in the race. So there are still companies who believe that data ownership and on-prem is important. Why? Because they cannot trust the cloud 100%, especially if they have critical operation. And actually, we saw it. I believe last year, we had Microsoft off air for nearly 50 minutes or probably more, maybe 6 hours. And it impacted airlines, the aviation sector. So just imagine, your entire infrastructure, you trust the cloud. What happened to your operation in this one day downtime? Can you afford? So what happened? Customers right now especially the corporate, especially multinational, industrial, telecoms, they start gearing up toward digital twins. Some of his infrastructure in the cloud and some of it on-prem. So this is where we come, to create the right fit and the right balance for them.
Like a backup solution.
Exactly, like a backup solution. Like absolutely, it's like a backup solution. So you'll find whatever he's doing on-prem can be ported to the cloud in a peaceful manner. Something goes wrong or off with his operation, the cloud is off air, some whatever. Microsoft is not available, Bill Gates is, or Google, or whatever. His operation is intact. Simply he divert the traffic to on-prem. Capacity is okay. Everything is well studied. Data center operation is efficient, well maintained, uptimed. He doesn't have a risk.
Yeah, so basically you have a file in Google Drive, but you also keep it in your USB just in case it shuts down. But you do it
Absolutely,
at scale.
absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
What about
You can't.
sensitive industries like government, places like that? Are they required to have it on-prem, or do they
Yes.
also use the okay?
To be honest with you, I still see the government entity, especially here in the UAE, they have the tendency, to have their own local data on-prem. They 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 trust their operation. They have sensitive data. They do not, want to, flag it to you. But having said that, also multinational companies are coming up with various solutions, to attract government. Like for example, in Oracle, now there is something called Oracle Cloud Machine. This machine is entirely for you. It is not going to be hosting government data and other customer data. So that machine, maybe it will be dedicated fully to the Ministry of Information or to the municipalities or whatever. But that maturity is not yet there. Yani you find CEO interacts, they like to receive information, they like to explore, but when it comes to reality, they like to keep their data operation on-prem.
Mm.
That's why we maintain a large um, set of data centers in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and we see that the trend is not there, to move to the cloud.
So we're running out of time, but I really wanted to ask you about where the region is heading. We recently had big announcements from the region, huge investments in AI, even data centers. So how would this impact your business? And are you optimistic about the next decade?
Okay, it's a very good question. Now, AI is a great thing, but when you ask me about when you ask me about AI, it's not the ChatGPT, it's not the DeepSeek, what people knows about. It's the engine of the engine. So right now, the AI is the what I say is the name of the game. Everybody wants to be in it because uh, it is the future technology. We are all with the predictive and proactive. So I like to provide, for example, my customer a solution based on AI predictive cooling. This is something that we all appreciate. So yes, we evaluate this technology. We make sure that it is the right fit. And honestly speaking, I see a great future, okay, in the AI industry. So companies who's running thousands of employees and doing the same repetitive task, this all can be done and executed by the AI. So the region is really heading toward adopting AI in a big and wide range. And you will see a lot of applications like like in 2000, if I'm still remember in 2000, in year 2000 or 2001, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed came on TV and he said, I want all the government, to be on mobile. And those government who's not going to have their own apps. We will do a graduation ceremony and we will celebrate them to sit, at home. This is exactly what's happening in the AI right now. So eventually, if you are not an AI-driven company, you will retire very soon. I mean, maybe your business will sustain for another 5 years. You make 200 million revenue with heart, depending on certain key individuals and key people in your organizations, but that will not scale. At one point in time, this business will go down the tube, okay, by other smaller, more intelligent, more intuitive. They use the technology to outpace what you are doing. And if you look at the application in the AI space, it's really scary. Very scary. I think people still need to learn about all these applications. And when I talk about these applications, you can predict what Amazon is selling, what now. It's not offered, it's not publicly offered. You can't find this right now, but you can build it yourself. You can automate thousands of tasks in your organizations without the need for 10 people or 20 people. Henceforth, there is a lot that we can talk from now to another 2 hours. So yes, I see a lot of AI things coming, and prediction is important. Customer who is not into this technology, they will be left behind. They will have difficulties to compete with other organizations, especially the small one that is fast to change, fast to adopt. Really, they will take a big market share from these big organizations. So yeah, this is my view to the region, and this is my view especially we are also living in a very fast region. I'm talking about Dubai. My goodness. They launch it in US, next morning you have it here. So you have to be ready. You have to be ready.
Ahmed, I love your optimism for the future and for the region specifically. This was a fascinating conversation. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you very much, Antoine.